Yo, it's time for take 2 on February 1st. And why is it take 2? The sun is always in my eyes. It is take 2 because it's the first. It is take 2 because the last 24 hours, the last 48 hours have been some of the most exciting hours that I have had this year. And it's as normal, as per normal, not why you may be thinking. It's exciting because me and my brother were able to prove to ourselves and to our staff and to everybody around us that when you are ready to take 10x actions or just 5x actions to take care of opportunities that most would brand as problems, you can find solutions and you can find new business and you can find everything that you desire in this entire universe just by getting out there and taking the action. I've been a little bit cryptic about what I've been doing the last couple days, but the fact is, I've said it before, we're not perfect as a company. We're not. We're a lot closer than some of the others, and our dream and our vision and our mission is better than any others. I can promise you that. And that's proven by what me and my brother did in the last couple days. Because you see, there were a few customers around West Texas that weren't properly taken care of per the Ammons core values. And it took too long for me and my brother to recognize that. As we've grown, we've added office staff. We have a fully committed and incredible admin team who handles our operations as well as our finance side of things. And before they were fully spun up last year, there were a few customers that, if any of you guys are roofing contractors or have ever had your home worked on, you know one of the best qualities that you can get out of a roofing contract, number one is honesty, but number two is that they can do a turnkey job, right? They can take care of your siding, your gutters, your windows, your all that kind of stuff. So you know it's already weird enough, right? Having to deal with insurance and trying to get your home taken care of, making sure you trust the guy. But to have to do multiple trades is a pain in the butt. But a couple of these projects, and I've actually friended some of the people that I've met who were customers that weren't fully taken care of throughout this whole thing, had things that were lagging, had things that weren't taken care of. And it's twofold. You know, we had one of our sales reps, I think didn't quite fully grasp in our growth area the concept of being a general contractor, not just a sales rep, right? We aren't sales reps here. We're not selling furniture. We're not selling cars. We're not selling something that's just sign on the dotted line and turn in. We're general contractors. So me, even though I participate in sales activities for my company, it doesn't mean I'm a stereotypical salesperson. I'm gonna try to fix this shit. Doesn't mean it ain't gonna work. Doesn't mean I'm a stereotypical salesperson, right? I am a general contractor. So is anybody who currently is an active sales rep for Ammons, ACR, and Verde. The fact is, me, Fernando, Cal, Kerry, Zach, on the Verde side, TJ, Omar, the guys who are bidding, we're contractors. We have to meet with you. We've got to figure out what your BAP is, your big ass problem. We got to figure out what that is, and then we need to work with you to provide the value in exchange for US dollar, to provide that value to you, and then we stay with you throughout the entire project. Right now, we may have partnerships, people that come on board, i.e. Aaron in our office or Jennifer in our office who handles ops admin. They help us keep stuff together and the customer service component intact. However, we as contractors have to stay throughout that whole thing. And one part that was missed on every single one of these jobs that me and Zach came down here and met with people to make sure that they were all taken care of once it came to our attention, was that the representative who originally worked on the deal didn't understand the concept of working all the way through. And unfortunately, the person I'm talking about had another opportunity that they took on and aren't working with us. Now, we have great communication. We still communicate with that person, but it doesn't do any good to just communicate with that person and try to get dollars in, or communicate that person and say, hey, did you take care of your customer well? Because a lasting company, a company with a reputation, a foundation to build off of, the owner and or high-level management has got to go out and see these customers who they think there may have been a miscommunication of the company's core values. And that's exactly what I'm on fire about right now, is me and my little brother, Zach, were able to go around in the last 24 to 48 hours, meet with people who we dug through and found reports and found out that they weren't happy with some of the services or the way or the length of time their project took. We went out and we were able to meet with them face to face, talk with them, hear their pain, tell us who we are, and communicate that ACR, Ammons, and Verde vision. And some of these were ones that actually had outstanding invoices with our company. And it's sad, but a couple of them, the only reason we probably found out is that there was money that was still needed to be collected. And so we were able to dig up some of these customers who were rightfully not thrilled with how we had taken care of business. And I am proud to say right now that it's not like it was less than a handful. I act like it's like some huge number, but every single one of those people that we met with, we walked away with a satisfied customer who was happy, who I believe will be proud to use us again now that they have made the introduction to me and Zach. And some of them actually even turned into more dollars for our company. Would you imagine that? Somebody who me and Zach stepped out, who was unhappy with what was going on. Their project was on a 6-month track. I'm embarrassed to say this, I really am, because the rule with our company is that we're in and out, right? We get all of our stuff pre-produced, we're ready to go, we come in and out because nobody wants to mess with restoring their home or business, right? They want to get it in and out, over with, not be out of pocket any money, not have too much expense to it. So we had one of these that drug out for so long, and a customer who was rightfully so concerned and kind of upset about what had taken so long. This is one of the ones that I was working with today, a fantastic woman, lady from Littlefield. I don't know if woman, lady is the proper term here, but either way, I walked into something that this sales rep who'd basically given up on getting anything done, kind of had in my mind that she was upset. She was going to be asking for discounts, right? That's all what all service pros worry about is, oh gosh, I've messed up. I've got $1,000 in a job or $10,000 in a job that I only bid for $8,000. Now they're going to ask for discounts. Oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I walk into this thinking like that's what I'm about to walk into. Turns out, when you just show up and feel somebody's pain because you have much more at stake than money. You have your vision, your dream at stake. People can smell that. People know that. But you got to show up. You got to show up for them to see that. So I sit down and I talk with this woman. I'm bouncing back and forth between three things. I'm teaching a lesson, I'm telling a story, and I'm venting all at the same time. It's beautiful. How can I be on fire at 6 o'clock? Because I saw the Ammons vision lived out today, and I'm stoked about it. So back to my story 3, maybe it's 3 out of the 3 that I'm telling. I sit down with her and I go through the whole thing, introduce, talk to her, tell her how this should work, where we made missteps and how we could have made it better. And at the end of the day, all that really matters is that the scope of work that this woman was promised is delivered and delivered upon at a higher caliber than she even thought it could. So once I dialed into that, I also found that there was some supplementing and some stuff that needed to be done in order to get the insurance paperwork, the insurance dollars right per what we completed. And wouldn't you know it, by me showing up, being honest up front, taking the time to talk to her, feel her pain, hear her pain, the woman turns to me and says, well, you need to be paid what the proper insurance supplementing is, the proper insurance rates. Once we get this taken care of, I'd love for you to supplement insurance and you make the profit margin that you're supposed to make. And this may not be as impactful for some of you guys who have gotten lost in my bunny trails, but we're talking about a customer who my company mismanaged, therefore I mismanaged, right? I mismanaged this. What happens to me is a direct result of the action I take, right? So this situation where I have with a customer is a direct result of mismanagement on my part, not any person in my company. It's got nothing to do with any one person because I'm in control, right? I'm in control of working with my team and asking myself, what could I have done differently to have achieved a different result, right? Well, the different result would have been better checkpoints, better fail-safes, and better communication with this sales rep who, on the front lines, mismanaged the communication. So we're talking about a customer who had been mismanaged from a communication standpoint. Work was fantastic, but the length of the job was drawn out too long, and she was unhappy about it. And she had made that very apparent when she spoke to our office. Taking that customer and actually going and sitting down with them, I walk out with potentially thousands of dollars added to our bottom line, which is rightfully so per the proper insurance pricing, all because I showed up. I just showed up, and I was real and I was authentic. And so I'm totally excited about that. Was actually this morning. I just walked away from my last appointment with a customer who was confused about a few parts of their insurance paperwork. I walked away with a check. This is one that we hadn't been paid on yet. A check, as well as the opportunity to supplement again. And I didn't ask to supplement on these. See, the thing is, I believe that people are good-natured. People want win-win scenarios on average. But as soon as they think that they're getting the short end of the stick because we don't communicate well or we're not knowledgeable enough to share the right information with them, that's when the discounts come in. All it is people protecting themselves. Because think about this. In the general contracting world, the service world, really any business world, it's sad, but people are used to making mistakes. So they fear making any decision at all because they've made so many decisions with other contractors or people that they've worked with or vehicles they've bought that have backfired on them. A, they're scared to make a decision, and B, they just expect that you're going to be another list or another part of the list of bad decisions that they've made. So when you don't know your stuff and you fail to communicate, which is the even worse, like you could not know your stuff and communicate well, then you cause people to go into their natural state of defensiveness and their natural state of, this person must be doing me wrong. And so what I'm recognizing throughout all of this today, and I already knew it, and I've practiced this before. It's not like I've never been in a situation where I have to go talk to a customer and clean some things up because of mismanagement by a team member. We're imperfect, but it just relit a fire in me and reaffirmed with me today that the human element of this is really what matters, right? What matters is that you communicate, that you're honest, and you take care of people. It doesn't hurt that our work is impeccable. It doesn't hurt that when I go meet with these customers, that our production crews, Christian, Juan, Johnny, all the people that work on our project do incredible work. So it buys me a lot of latitude and a lot of forgiveness when we have situations that we have jobs that are drawn out timeline, when the customer looks at me and says, the fact is, Andrew, we've been incredibly impressed with the work you guys have done. We just really wanted to get this last piece done and had a hard time getting communication on it. Me, I can smile at that, especially when I'm in control and I'm there. So I just pulled away from one of those, and I wanted to make this a part two because not only between all of that, and this is probably what fires me up the most, and Zach would attest to this as well. What fires me up the most is me and him both were able to, let me get my thoughts straight. We managed to go out, take care of these customers who unfortunately didn't get to see the full Ammons vision. They didn't get that experience that we want for them. We were able to go knock this out in 24 hours, meet with multiple customers, and all at the same time drum up new business. I inspected 15 properties today for a local ISD. My brother pulled 2 or 3 commercial leads all throughout this. So we're delivering upon our vision by reinforcing the concept of enhancing people's lives throughout the storm, throughout whatever it is, all the while procuring new business, which then generates more wealth for future customers as well as everybody within our organization. So we were able to go out and totally live that out today, and most people would complain. The Andrew 5 years ago would have complained. I would have bitched. I would have been mad at this sales rep. I would have argued. I would have pointed the finger. I would have gone into some of these homeowners and been mad at them as to why they were not satisfied, or why they had complained, or why maybe a couple of these hadn't paid. Why hadn't you paid? Most people would do that. But as soon as you recognize and you shift your perception a little bit, you have something deeper that you're moving towards, then all of a sudden you take care of people, you enrich lives, you increase wealth for your customers and yourself, and you take care of these people, all the while bringing in more business. Isn't that mind-blowing? It's really not. It's actually pretty intuitive, right? It's common sense. The problem is we so often as people get caught in our own way. We get caught in our defensive nature. We get caught in, it's so much easier to point the finger, right? It's so much easier to blame, and it feels good to bitch, right? Bitch about the person that didn't take care of, bitch about the customer who doesn't understand how hard it is to roof hundreds of homes in the midst of a catastrophic storm season. Just bitch about them. That's the easiest thing to do, right? The fact is, it's not the easiest thing to do. It's unfortunately the most common thing to do. It's what our behavior naturally tells us to do for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it's most certainly not the easiest thing to do. The thing is, the starting point of it takes the exact same amount of energy. It takes the exact same amount of life-sucking energy out of you to complain about these things as it does to start fixing them. And so we're at equal money right here, right? Equal effort, equal money, whatever you want to talk about it. And I would argue that it's not even equal, but still, let's assume it takes the same amount of energy to put into fixing and helping people that it does to complain. Even just that 30-second bitch that you bitch to the person sitting next to you. Let's assume it takes the same amount of energy, right? Well, what happens when you start taking care of people, right? Because of that initial action that you took to make things better. Well, then this momentum starts, right? It's this refreshed breath of air when you get that check, when you get that smile, when you get whatever it is. So then all of a sudden it becomes easier. It starts to become easier because you have this energy, this initiative, this I'm delivering upon something, and the thing that I want most in my life to provide for my family and create this company or manage this company well, it starts to build, right? So that when I started on this, actually it was yesterday at like 5 o'clock, so I can't hardly say it's been 48 hours, it's barely been 25. I started this little path last night at 5 o'clock. And I have consistently worked it until 9 o'clock last night, got up early this morning. Of course, I'm running my own things. It's not just I'm focusing on that. But throughout all that, at 6 o'clock, I am more fired up than I was when I had the most peak energy of my day today. I'm more fired up because I made the decision to take action, to get in front of people, to live by our core values. And so that energy, so we got two different paths, right? We started out at equal money, equal energy, equal efficiency, equal whatever you want to talk about, right? To complain or to start taking action towards fixing things. And on each side of this, let's say I chose the complain route. My energy is sucked every single complaint I make and every single person I talk to. Therefore, it takes me away from my other work, right? Opportunity costs. I start losing. Whereas if I start taking action in the right place, I build momentum and I start winning more. Not only am I winning on some of these things that are opportunities I need to fix, I start attracting more opportunity for myself. And so it's just a really neat thing to walk through and see that happen. See a situation that so many business owners, so many business managers, sales managers would treat as an opportunity to complain, to be mad, to be upset, we can't do it, and to suck the life out of you and take the success away that you deserve, right? You as a person deserve. It's your moral obligation to be successful, right? You have a duty to be successful. If you have the ability to be successful, it is your moral obligation. So it's an ethics issue if you are not reaching that, right? Because you have an ethical responsibility, a moral obligation to your family, to yourself, to be as successful as possible. So you have two options in anything in life. You don't have to have a situation like I've talked about to where you've got problems you need to fix or opportunities. You don't have to have that. You have two decisions to make every single day in life. You have a decision to complain, to bitch, to point the finger because that feels right, it feels easier, or you have the opportunity to take action. And it's as simple as that. What if every second you've spent bitching about something in the last month, the last 30 days, even if it feels good, it's like, I just want to complain a little bit to make myself feel better. What if every second you spent on that, you actually spent on taking action to make your life better or make the people life around you better, right? I know that me and Zach positively enhanced the life of our team today. I know that. I don't need thanks for it because we're all tied in it together. See, I didn't do a favor for anybody. We're all in this boat together, our team. But I know I made their life better because I know that they're not going to have to worry about this when they look at the AR list for some of these people who hadn't paid yet. They're not going to have to take a phone call from an upset customer, right? I positively impacted their life because tomorrow when they walk in the office, this is handled. And that's that synergy, that's that momentum I'm talking about, because now they can spend their efforts on other successful action-taking things tomorrow. So it's pretty cool. Just get out in front of it. I actually did a live video in our Facebook group, and I talked about that. How our perception sometimes as people, our perception, the way we see a customer through the phone, through the eyes of our phone, is very different than what's happening out there. And a lot of times you just got to show up, right? People don't like conflict, but they should learn to. Because when you're okay with it and you know that conflict leads to success, conflict leads to winning in relationships, conflict leads to personal growth, all the things that you want. You could say, Andrew, gosh, you're a nutcase, man. What happened to you? You didn't used to talk about all this kind of stuff. You're a little bit more Southern comfort, low key. This wasn't this huge thing for you where it's all success all the time. But you do want that because that's what feeds your soul. It doesn't matter if it's success in money, success in relationships, success in how you perform at your job. It doesn't matter. You want that. You do. And you got to realize that's what feeds your soul, period. And what takes away from you and your soul and your life and your happiness is complaining. You take it away from yourself. So it was really fun, this 24-hour exercise, because like I said, the Andrew, probably just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, would have complained, been mad. I would have spent so much energy complaining, pointing the finger, arguing. I would have never had the leftover energy in my reserve to take care of what I took care of the last 24 hours and look at a $500,000 deal all together. Because see, my brain would have been taken up, my negative energy would have taken all the space needed to get that lead on that $500,000 deal and those multiple properties and to get that all taken care of. Wouldn't have had the space left because I would have spent it trying to make myself feel better by pointing the finger and complaining. So this is powerful shit from the road, from me, happening today. And the reason it's so important to anybody and everybody watching, especially if you're in the service industry, there are so many people online right now. I put a Facebook post up earlier today. It's like Facebook has 2.3 billion people. 2.59 of them are consultants. They're consultants. They're life coaches. They're people that want to help you. They're people that want to sell you something. The difference is they're not living this stuff out, right? Those who can't do coach, no, teach. That's horrible because there's such a value for coaches. In fact, one of my mentors that I'm trying to reach out to and work with more often is a coach. So rewind that, take that back. I don't mean it in that respect. What I mean is there's so many people online who is just a racket, who are trying to teach you something that they're not living out every day. And I want to be straightforward here. Here's the point of me doing this. Why am I putting out the effort on this 60 days of service business building? Well, first of all, we're going to go the selfish side. There's a big part of it is for me. It's for me to live out everything that I know up here that sometimes stops in the wake of emotion, right? I want to live out the concepts, the business concepts that I know to be true. So first of all, it's for me on that level. Second of all, I want to make sure that I reach as many people as possible to network and bring up in the service industry along with me and network so that I can increase your happiness and your life, and maybe I can set the rule of reciprocity in place and you can return the favor to me, right? Because when I network with people and I meet new people and hopefully I share some of these experiences with you, you'll share some with me and we can grow together because more is more. And if you don't believe that, you need to start believing it, right? Sharing secrets, working with people, maybe not your patents, maybe not your stuff that's like, trade secrets that makes you different, but you get the point. I want to network with people. And number 3, I just want to raise awareness in the service industry and to consumers. If any of my customers catch these, if any of my potential customers catch this, there are people out there, and I'm one of them, who are reaching and striving for something a lot more than just being a roofer, than just being a landscaper. I want to positively impact people's lives. I want to positively impact my customers. I want to positively impact my sales team and the people that work with me. And there's plenty of people that I've worked with as I grow and develop as a person that I have not been able to meet that commitment, but I'm going to meet it, right? One of the people that I talked about earlier this week made a comment about certain people that I have worked with that they thought that I had screwed, right? That you just screw people, as if I drink from the skulls of my enemies, right? Well, I'm going to offset any thought that anybody's ever had, and that's a part of business, right? This happens. I'm going to offset that by positively affecting so many people's lives. I need to put a number on that it's just crazy, right? Exponential to any sour person who's pointing the finger back at me, because they all are sour people, right? Anybody who ever hears says something negative about me, they forget to tell you about the first 75% of the time that they ever worked with me. And that's a rebrand of something that Ryan Stewman posted the other day, but it's the truth. So the point is, those are the 3 reasons that I'm doing this. This is why this is happening. This is why you're watching it right now. Anybody who makes it to damn near 30 minutes of me talking, congratulations, because that's a long time to take track and keep track of all these things. So it's the 1st of February. I'm fired up. I am super excited about what me and my brother achieved. I'm excited about what the entire team achieved, because the fact is, it's not like it's just us. You know, we're texting, we're emailing, we're calling nonstop. Our support team, who supports us and we in turn support them back, is incredible. So we didn't do it on our own, but I'm super excited about what we've accomplished today, because it reaffirms that the vision and the mission of what we're out to do as a company is worth fighting for. It's worth doing what we're doing. So that's freaking cool. I'm headed back now towards the Panhandle. I've been out in, call it deep West Texas, if you will, almost New Mexico. Speaking of that, I got a New Mexico lead. I'm going to email him when I get off the phone with you guys and get to a stopping point. But it is Thursday, and it is the 1st of February on 60 Days of Business Building. And really, I'm driving down the back roads, and I hope I'm going the right direction here. So we're going to pause for a commercial break. The commercial break is Andrew. Oh, I'm going the right way. I'm going the right way. So I got a long haul back home, and just to give you guys an update on where we're at. Hell, I don't need to give you an update. I'll see you tomorrow. Any of you guys who watch this to the end here and have any questions about my businesses, which I've got business partners, I can still call them my businesses though, between ACR Commercial Roofing, Ammons Roofing, as well as Verde Landscape Companies, I want you to reach out to me. You're going to see this on YouTube likely, but you may catch it on Facebook. You can comment, you can shoot me a message. Go to andrewammons.com. It's as easy as that. andrewammons.com. It's got every single one of my social media profiles, from Instagram to LinkedIn to Facebook to all that kind of stuff. I almost burped. It's got everything on there. I want you to reach out to me if you have any questions about my business. If you're a service industry guy or gal and you're working to build a business, I'd love to talk with you. I'd love to network. I'd love to have you as a referral partner. If you're a prospective client who's watching this, you think, golly, I was going to work with Andrew, but he's crazy. I'm just kidding. Shoot me a message if you have any questions about what our values are. I love talking about those. If you're a previous client, anybody and everybody, I want to reach out. I want you to reach out to me. I want to talk. I want to answer questions. This is fun. This is fun being totally open and honest and living this out, because the fact is, everything that we're working for, somebody needs to start a drinking game out of my 10 followers. The fact is, and the point is, like how many times I say that, I lost my train of thought. This is fun. I just hit myself there. I'm losing it. Living this out and talking with you guys about this and recognizing and reaffirming what our vision and our mission is gives me so much steam. So I'm having fun with it. I'm not just somebody that just wants to sell a roof, wants to sell landscaping, wants to do whatever it is. I want to prove that I can positively impact more people's lives than anybody ever imagined who got into the service game. And I want to live that out. You see, roofing and landscaping is just the conduit for delivering upon that mission. So if you want to talk more about that, comment on that. If not, give it a like, give it a share, give it a whatever. But yeah, go to andrewammons.com and you can find all my social media profiles, as well as my website outside of any of these other companies, Next Level Service Pro, which is a blog website where I write a lot about my experiences and try to give a little bit of, I want to say lessons, but a little bit of insight into the service world for other contractors and people who are in this industry. So I made it 30 minutes. That's a 30-minute video. It'll probably take 3 freaking hours for it to upload for you guys to see it. But I'm going to cut it at that. We'll be back at the office in Pampa tomorrow, Friday. I'm going to try to get you guys inside, on the inside, and meet the office, meet who's there, and we'll go from there and continue this little experiment. So you guys have a good evening, morning, afternoon, night, whatever it is when you see this, and I'll catch you on the next one.